Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Robert Hollis Jr. Today I want to share with you guys a quick story that I think you guys will really enjoy and also get a lot of value out of the moral of this story. And basically the story very simply is about a master and his student. And the story starts off that the master comes to the student and says, "Listen, I think you might be ready to become a master. But first we have to go on a journey together." And the student is just jacked out of his mind. He's so excited. He's ready for it. He's heard of the journey before. And they go ahead and start off on their way. Well, when they first get started, they have to cross, a stream. And when they get to the stream, they've actually noticed now that spring is here, it's almost turning into like a river. It's a little higher than normal. It's going a little faster. And on the edge of the bank of the river, there's a woman standing there, and she looks very distraught. She's got a bunch of supplies with her, and she just looks really upset. And the master walks over to her and says, "What's the matter? Can we help you in any way?" And she said, "Oh, I'm so thankful you guys came. I don't know how to swim, and I have to get to the other side with all my supplies, and all my children and my family are waiting for me. I got to get the supplies home to them." Well, the student overhears this, and a part of their culture, or what they've said, to be a master, is that you're not able to physically touch women. You can talk to them, you can help them, give them respect, but you can't physically touch them. And the master right away says, "No problem, I'd be more than happy to help you." He gives all the supplies to the student to carry them across the river, and then he grabs the woman and puts her on his shoulders. It's enough weight to keep him on the bottom, and he walks all the way across and drops her off at the other side of the river. And off she goes. She says she's so thankful. And the student right away is just in shock. He doesn't know what to say. He's going, "Master, why did you do that? I thought that we took an oath that we could never touch women. Why did you touch her?" And he said, "Listen, now's not the time and the place for that. We got a long journey ahead. Let's continue to move forward." So as they move forward, they come to this great sacred tree. It's a giant tree that's been there for hundreds of years. And they finally get there, and the master says, "Listen, a lot of masters before us has been here to meditate and to gain power from the tree. So we got to sit here for a while and meditate and visualize on our journey." And as they sit down, they know, the master notices the student is kind of rustling. He's not calm. He's definitely not meditating. And he says, "What's the matter?" He goes, I don't know. I can't meditate right now because I'm so distracted. Why did you touch the woman? Why did you carry her across the river? I don't understand." And the master is kind of getting upset now. He says, "Listen, this is a time to meditate and to be here with the amazing tree." So, the student finally shuts up. They do their meditation, and on the journey they go. And the next spot they get to is this amazing meadow. It's right when you get out of the forest. It's one of the most beautiful, amazing, sights that you can see. And you can actually see far off in the distance, the huge mountain that they have to climb. And, the master turns to the student and goes, "Isn't this an amazing sight? Take it all in. Look at it in all its glory." And first thing the student says is, "Master, I can't take it anymore. Why did you touch the female? Why did you carry the woman across the river?" And the master looks at him and smiles and says, "Now's not the time. We got to hurry up and get going. The sun's coming down, and to climb this, huge mountain is very dangerous, and we got to make sure we get there before the sun gets down." So, off they go on to the journey, and of course they finally make it to the great mountain. And as they're climbing up, it's very treacherous. It's a hard climb to get to the top of where the great castle is, the great temple, I should say. And as they're way up, the student slips, hits his knee, and almost starts tumbling down the mountain. And the master grabs him right away and says, "What are you doing? Aren't you focused? You got to pay attention." And the student now is just mad. He says, "Listen, I'm just so mad. Why won't you tell me why you carried the woman across the river? I can't focus. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just eating me up. You gotta tell me. I'm upset." And the master said, "Now is not the time. Are you kidding me? We're climbing up a dangerous mountain, and you want to ask me about the woman I touched? Let's keep going." So they barely make it to the top of the mountain right as the sun's coming down to the great master's temple. The student is so excited that he's there, that he knows that the journey's, past him, that only the masters get to visit this temple. And late that night is a ceremony when they have all the students become masters. So the student's just so excited, and the master comes to him and says, listen, is there anything you want to talk about? And he said, listen, master, don't worry about it. I don't care that you touched the female, the woman. I'm just ready to become a master. And the master looks at the student and says, you're not ready. And he said, what do you mean I'm not ready? Hey, if this is about the woman, I don't care. I won't bring it up. Yeah, I don't care. I know you might get in trouble for doing it, but I don't care. It's in the past. I don't care that you carried her across the river. And the master looks at him and smiles. And he said, yes, I did carry her across the river, but so did you. You carried her from the river all the way to the tree, the great tree. Then you carried her all the way from the great tree to the amazing meadows. And then you carried her all the way up this treacherous mountain. And because of the weight of her on your shoulders, you almost fell and died because you kept carrying that woman. Now that we're at this temple, you're still talking about her. You're still carrying her. You're not ready to be a master. Now, why do I say that story? Because, I know a lot of people that are watching this video, you might have the talents, you might have the enthusiasm, you might have the drive and the vision to become great at something, to become a master in any profession that you're in. And the biggest thing that's holding you back right now is because you're still carrying things with you from your past. You still have a lot of things that you're carrying that is holding you back for truly becoming a master. And why am I sharing with you this story? Because it's happened to me. When I first decided to learn and work with the master, I say it's my father, Robert Hollis Sr., he decided to come out of retirement. I think he was in retirement for about 4 years when I decided to work with him. And he came out from Montana, came out to California, and rented this small little apartment in Costa Mesa, California. And we decided to go to work in this new company. Well, at the time, I had what I thought was a okay job. It wasn't the best job. I didn't necessarily love it, but hey, it was a great job. It was good. And I kept holding on to that job. I didn't want to necessarily jump in both feet, because what if I didn't succeed at this? What if I failed? I still had a job that I could hold on to. See, I was still carrying my job with me. And, I know that, every single Saturday, my dad had a big, amazing training. And a couple times I was still trying to be a professional skater. I remember coming to my father one day saying, listen, I know you're doing a great training this Saturday, but there's a skate competition that's in town. I gotta be there. I gotta, be there to compete in this competition. I was still holding on to being a skater. Not only that, but I knew that on Sundays was, basically the only day the office was closed. That was the day that my father always took off. He said it was always for God and for, family and to relax on Sundays. Well, I knew that, so Sundays was my days that I could go let loose and party with my friends. See, I was still holding on to being a kid and liking to go party and drink and do all the, what I thought was fun things back then, instead of taking the time to spend with the master, to reflect on the week, to see what I could do better, what we could do better the next week. And, looking back on it, it's so amazing because, in that short 6-month period when he was in California, I think that he made close to about $100,000, which isn't a lot for the master's standards, but, think of anybody making that kind of money. If I would have let go and not carried on with my past, I think I probably could have made $20,000, if not $30,000 with him, which was more than I was making at my full-time job. But no, I had to hold on to that. I was still carrying that. I was still carrying on that I wanted to be a skater, that I wanted to hang out and party with my friends. But what I didn't know back then as a student hanging out with the master, that if I would have let all that go, I wouldn't have let anything hold me back, that I would have been on my journey to becoming a master. I always think about that because I know a lot of people might be holding on to your past, of people telling you that you're not great, telling you that you're crazy, telling you that those home-based businesses and internet marketing and network marketing doesn't work, and you're still holding on to that stuff. You still believe in that stuff. You know, I know a lot of people will show up to the Saturday trainings. They're excited, they're motivated, and they immediately leave that amazing environment, whether it's an online training course or anything, and go back to all the negative, skeptical lifestyle that they had before. They're holding on to things that just will not allow them to move forward. So I hope you guys like the moral of this story and also my standpoint of it, that, you know, really look at what you're holding on to and saying, is it worth it? Am I saying that you have to give everything up? No. See, I still love to skate. I still love to go to the beach. But guess what? I put sacrifice and effort and learn my craft, where I was able to retire at the beach. I spent a whole year, you know, in Newport Beach, being a beach bum, enjoying life. Why? Because I gave it up for years to get there. So, you know, don't have to give everything up, but what are you carrying right now that's holding you back to becoming a master? So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this short video. I love and appreciate all the comments and the feedback that we're getting online. And please reach out to me if you ever want any personal mentorship or coaching. So thank you guys so much. Robert Hollis Jr. signing off, and have a wonderful and blessed day.